This was hard to watch.
Okay. Where do I start?
Gather your thoughts.
Tamra was acting so calm. It was weird. And I was like, okay, she's going to therapy. She's learned these certain sentences to say when somebody confronts her or is like, you know, acting in a way that's a little bit more heightened energy. And that was bothering me because I was like, Tamra, like, just say what you want to say, like act how you want to act. Like I could tell that she was like
Putting on a front.
Putting on like, I'm going to be calm and I'm going to show everybody that I am like a changed person.
But it lasted for like 10 minutes.
I know, but it was so awkward at the beginning, the way she was acting.
It was like a ticking time bomb.
It's also interesting to me. So Tamra always alludes to the fact that like Teddy was going through health issues and like still is, and that really derailed her and made her act like a different person.
Yeah.
When like that's literally how you've been acting since
Forever.
Before that even happened.
Correct.
And like she's using it as like a way to
An excuse.
To get off the hook
Yeah.
for being held accountable for how she's behaving and how she treats people. When like Shannon brought up, nobody gave me, like I was going through the worst time of my life last year.
And you all were harder on me.
Not one person gave a shit.
Correct. And then when Tamara's called out, she just argues it more. She doesn't say like, oh, that's true. Like, I'm sorry. Like Gina, Emily, even Heather, like all these people are taking accountability and really being like, you know what? I can see where you're coming from and I'm going to apologize for that. Mm-hmm. Tamara doesn't do that once.
Yeah.
She just makes it worse.
One time someone, okay, so when Tamra was trying not to lose it on Heather, and Heather was explaining to her like why she wouldn't trust her with information, and out of everybody in the group, like she wouldn't trust her the most she wouldn't trust her. And Tamra's like, I'm here. Andy's like, so what do you think about that? Like Tamra? And she's like, I'm hearing her and I'll work on that. And I was like, that that is such a therapy.
Did your therapist tell you to say that? Yes. Correct.
1,000%. Like she had therapy sentences in like written on her hand and she was like, I hear her and I will work on that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was robotic.
Your feelings are valid.
It was really funny to me that she goes, I think I was less hostile this season. Like I was really working on that. And Andy literally is like, and then it flashes back to her screaming in every scene.
There were a few moments,
I'm like, hello?
I can see why she thinks that, because there were a few moments where she just like walked away instead of staying and like, but like she walked away and then
I quit.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of having her outburst on camera and like with like physical yelling and body movements, she like went and quit on Instagram.
Yeah, like.
But still, I could see where she thinks that, because a few times she did. Like, remember when Gretchen was yelling at her and she just like walked out? Yeah. I was shocked at that moment that she just walked out, because I don't know if I would even do that.
I want to talk for a minute about the Tamra Shannon thing, when Tamra called Shannon's dad out for being an alcoholic. And then
I wonder if we're going to think the same thing. Go ahead.
It really bothered me that Tamara's defense of like bringing that up was that Shannon had a conversation with Bronwyn in an earlier season about that. Mm-hmm. So then it's just like she's allowed to talk about it. Like that's what makes it like okay. Oh, because you had a conversation with somebody privately, now it's fair game for me to bring up and like weaponize against you. I thought that was fucked up.
Okay, you want to know what I thought was fucked up?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Kind of not.
The fact that they created this whole fight and conflict because Tamra mentioned Shannon's dad being an alcoholic when she was growing up, or having troubles with alcohol, whatever you want to call it. And Shannon's distraught. Like, my poor dad, like this is now public information. Yeah. Like you're like shining a negative light on him, like yada, yada, yada. So then she takes him out to dinner on camera to talk about him being an alcoholic and this whole situation. That is fucked up.
I think it's because it was already put out there. Then she thought, okay, then this is a good way to like tell him my feelings.
unless that was like a premeditated, like, listen, Dad, this happened. Do you want to go out for dinner on camera and we can like address the situation, or I could never talk. Unless she gave him the option of how he wanted to move forward, which like I will give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she did.
Sure.
But I just thought the way it was presented at the reunion was like, Tamra's evil for bringing this up. Now I'm going to bring my dad on camera for a dinner to talk about it even more.
Yeah.
It was weird.
I get that. I see your point.
Yeah.
I do want to say going to therapy does not mean that you're changing or working on yourself. The act of going to therapy doesn't mean that you're like a new person. That's one step. But like Tamra just wants like brownie points for, well, I'm going to therapy. That's like her defense to everything. Like
everybody's in therapy. Like,
correct. And just because you go does not mean that you are now taking action and like taking the steps towards becoming a better person. Like, just because you go to therapy doesn't mean that you're a
and
good
I
person.
liked that Gina brought up, because this is very true. Like, when you go to therapy, usually it gets way worse before it gets better, because you're like reliving and bringing up all these things,
opening up old wounds.
The thing about people with personality issues, individual therapy is always interesting to me, because I would like to see what they're saying to their therapist.
Yeah.
Like, are they telling the whole truth when they're talking about like, oh, I got into a fight with my friend the other day? Like, the therapist is only hearing your side.
Yeah.
So I find that very interesting, and like always wondering if the therapist then ends up like the way they're telling it to the therapist. And like, sure, amazing therapists or psychologists, maybe they can work around this and they know how to, you know, figure shit out. Anybody can be a therapist these days. So I'm always curious, like, are they bamboozling the therapist? And now the therapist is actually doing more harm than good, because they're like enabling them to like feed what is already going on.
Is the therapist feeling bad for them and making them like justify
because of
their
how
decisions.
they're relaying the information.
Yeah.
And one thing that's interesting about group therapy is it's a social setting where people are given turns to talk and like interact, and the therapist can watch how people interact with other people. And that is fascinating, because you're seeing it right in front of your eyes, how people treat other people, how they like respond to what they're saying.
The nonverbal.
That is what I want to see. Imagine a group therapy reality TV show with all these people in group therapy.
Well, did you ever watch Teen Mom or Teen Mom 2?
Fucking yeah, I did.
And they always had, what was that? What was his name?
Dr. Fuck, I can see him in my head.
I can see his face too.
Oh my God.
And then he also did a session on Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Which was very cool.
Dr. Drew.
Yes. That was interesting to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's the thing about therapy that I just wanted to bring up. I was surprised that Katie was there.
I was surprised that Katie was there too. And they didn't really address why she hasn't been there. They just said like, oh, welcome back. We haven't seen you in a while.
I know.
So like, what happened?
And obviously I'm thinking about the contract. Like, how is she able to just not film for half a season?
Are you getting paid the same amount as everybody
if she is
else?
a full-time cast member?
Correct. And then you still go to the reunion.
Was something so detrimental happening to her? Like, maybe it was affecting her mental health. Like, who knows, where they let her out of the second half of the season?
Or was she pushed out? Did they just think like, this drama is not really that interesting to us and there's other things to focus on?
But if she was pushed out, would she be at the reunion?
Maybe because people still want to hear.
Is
like, what
she
the fuck
going
happened.
to BravoCon?
Probably. I'll check that.
I also find it interesting that, so for example, Katie was not filming for half the season. She was on stage when the reunion started. Gretchen, on the other hand, is in every single episode. She is the main storyline of every single episode, and she's friend of and not on stage at the beginning.
True. Katie Janela is going to be at BravoCon, and she even has a photo op experience.
I also have a free, I'm going to look directly in the camera because maybe this will be a reel. Okay. I have a free idea for Bravo.
Okay.
You should pay-per-view a full reunion unedited. Okay. pay-per-view, people sign up, they can stream the full unedited reunion. How insane would that be?
That would be insane. That would be fucking
Because
crazy.
every time they cut to commercial, you see them backstage, like they give little snippets.
And I love when they do
want
little
to see
snippets.
everything.
Yeah, same.
I want to see everything.
Same. That would be really good.
Can you imagine how much money they would make?
It's genius, really. I don't like how Katie had it out for Emily. Like, what was that?
Well, because remember at the very beginning of the season, she brought up the stuff about the Emily's nanny or house cleaner, whoever it was. And then Emily brought up the stuff because Emily's a lawyer, right? And then she was bringing up all of like the family law stuff, like, oh, look, Katie lost custody of her kids and like moved here without her kids. And Katie was like, why the fuck would you even say that? Like, because she had a whole explanation as for why that happened. And so I think that's why
and the lie detector test
is pissed at Emily.
It's just the whole Katie thing was weird to me because we haven't seen her in a long time.
Yes.
Gretchen looked like a Barbie doll.
Yes. No, when they said JonBenét Ramsey, I was cackling. Do you know who that is?
No.
Oh my God. You're so young.
Well,
you don't know who JonBenét Ramsey is.
Am I supposed to? Is it like Gordon Ramsay? Is he related?
There's a whole Netflix documentary on JonBenét Ramsey. You should watch it.
Okay.
It's a girl. She was a little girl. She was a pageant star and she got murdered in her home.
Oh,
and
my God, I was so far off.
Gordon Ramsay.
I thought it was a
very
dude.
similar. No, JonBenét Ramsey. And so
her
she
name
was
is
held,
Jean?
JonBenét. Jean. Yeah, like Jean. J-E. It's like a French name, JonBenét.
Well, clearly. Thanks.
Mais oui. But anyways, the case has never been solved.
What?
So there's a whole Netflix documentary. You would find this fascinating.
I would.
Because she was murdered in her own home. And so they were always looking at like her dad, like people who
were close
to the family. And like they go through the whole trial and like clues and like forensics and stuff. It's crazy.
Oh my God, I'm gonna watch that for sure. But she did look great, Gretchen.
When you see a picture of JonBenét Ramsey, you're gonna, because they were like, she kind of is giving that.
Okay.
It was kind of funny. Because she looked like a pageant queen.
So did somebody say that? Is that why?
Yeah. Because they were like, oh my God, you look like they gave her a compliment. And then I think it was Tamra that was like, or JonBenét Ramsey, like a child pageant queen.
Oh my God. That is fucking hilarious.
Anyways, the last thing I will say is Emily's son finally getting an actual diagnosis of something that I didn't even know existed. And now this is like a new fear unlocked. And the fact that she only found out about it and got him tested because of people online leaving comments and sending her messages like, have you ever looked into this? Because when she was sharing all the things that were going on with him, I guess people who have had experience with this disease.
But like from strep throat.
From strep throat.
Renee, I was freaking. Like I used to get strep throat when I was a kid.
However, apparently, obviously I looked into this because I was like, what in the actual? If you are on the spectrum of like autism, it's more likely to occur. And I don't know how that's connected. Mm-hmm. But what happens is like the strep throat is like a virus or whatever.
Yeah.
Goes into your
It's the bacteria
brain.
that travels to the brain and causes the swelling. And she did say if you're on the spectrum, you're more likely to have that. So I don't know if your brain is more likely to swell or what's happening there or why, but
is this like he had, because she said he had a bad case of strep throat.
Yeah.
So was he on antibiotics immediately or did it like?
But she said that he also like was gifted. So he could have been on the spectrum. They didn't know.
Yeah.
Then got the bad case of strep.
Yeah.
But either way, like
terrifying.
a few things I want to say on this. Obviously terrifying. Number 2, the power of social media, even though people love to shit on it, is quite incredible.
That's one of the good.
For her to have people surrounding her and rallying her. And sometimes it's difficult as a parent. I know when my kids are going through something and people are like, oh, it's this, it's this, it's this. And they want to like solve my problems. And I'm like, I just need to not think about all of these million things that it could be.
It's like
sometimes
me with
it's overwhelming.
Like my sinuses. Oh, the amount of messages I get, like, oh, have you did this?
And it's like, do you think I haven't tried this? Like, of course I have.
Yeah.
You know, I've been dealing with this for a long time and I'm only sharing it now. So I get that, but I guess on the flip, it really is a positive thing that you do really learn about things that you maybe wouldn't have known about before.
Yeah.
So that was interesting to me. But I just really appreciate her for sharing all of it.
And it's one of these situations where it's terrible, but they have answers now, and
Yes.
they can actually move forward.
Now they can create a plan.
With a plan
Yeah.
and so on. It wasn't clear as to whether, because it's literally all the symptoms that he was experiencing, like the eating, like restrictive eating, behavior, all of it is because your brain is swollen.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think.
I know.
But it wasn't clear as to whether, if he went through with the procedure to lessen the swelling in the brain, if he would ever like move, like be back to where he was before the strep.
Yeah.
Which is like,
but now he's going to do these laser treatments. So I'm interested to hear like an update after that.
Yeah.